Hello, darlings. You're welcome to Z-Star Africa, your home of sizzling drama recaps. Let's dive deep into the emotional storms, unexpected apologies, secret plots, and shocking family tensions in Soulmate's upcoming episodes. From Renuka's emotional apology that stirs old wounds, to Tejas plotting his next move against Sayali, unaware that karma is already on his trail, to Sayali finally breaking free from the chains that once held her down. Every moment hits harder than the last, filled with emotion, revenge, and revelation. Please like and turn on your notifications for more of your favorites. It only gets more interesting. Let's dive in. It all begins with Renuka at Shakuntala's house, frustrated and venting about Ria's disrespect. She pours out her heart, saying how deeply Ria's rude behavior hurts her, how disrespected she feels, and how she now only has Roshni as her favorite. Seeing Renuka's growing bitterness and bias, Shakuntala gently advises her to seek guidance from the spiritual hermit. But the very mention of his name sets Renuka off. Her anger flares, and she refuses to listen. Meanwhile, Sachin brings Savitri Devi home, hoping she can mend the broken bond between Renuka and Paresh. But the moment Savitri arrives, emotions explode. She scolds Paresh for mistreating his wife, yet Paresh, filled with years of frustration, lashes out, accusing Renuka of hypocrisy and constant arguments. Savitri listens quietly, her heart heavy, then urges him to speak calmly and resolve their issues. But Paresh, tired and emotionally drained, seems unwilling to try. Later, Savitri confronts Renuka for her harsh behavior towards Sayali. Renuka tries to defend herself, but Savitri stands firm, insisting she must apologize, not only to Sayali but to Paresh as well. Realizing how far things have gone, Renuka humbles herself and asks for forgiveness. To everyone's surprise, Paresh accepts her apology, offering a fragile but hopeful new beginning. Before leaving, Savitri takes a strong stand against Tejas. Shocked by his reckless actions, she slaps him and warns Roshni to keep an eye on her husband. For all his education, Tejas continues to make choices that only bring pain to the family. Sachin confronts Tejas about repaying their father's loan. He demands that Tejas contribute 50,000 Indian rupees every month to settle the debt. The demand leaves Tejas restless, feeling crushed by the pressure of paying his father Paresh 50,000 Indian rupees every month, until Roshni suggests he return the 18 Indian rupees lakhs he once received and keep 9 Indian rupees lakhs for himself. Next, Renuka rushes in, begging Roshni to ask her father or uncle for financial help, afraid of facing humiliation again. Meanwhile, Paresh still can't fully forgive Renuka for how she once treated Sachin and Sayali. To lighten the atmosphere at home, Savitri Devi announces a fun cooking contest for all daughters-in-law. But Sayali cleverly adds a twist, saying husbands should cook too. Everyone agrees except Tejas, who's nervous since he can't cook. The contest brings laughter and warmth. Paresh and Renuka's awkward teamwork in the kitchen draws attention, while Tejas and Roshni's attempt turns into a disaster. In contrast, Sachin and Sayali share cute, happy moments that make their bond stronger. At breakfast, Savitri Devi encourages all couples to feed each other, but Paresh coldly refuses Renuka, leaving the room in silence. Sachin and Sayali notice the tension and decide to help them reconcile. Just when things start to calm down, Tejas receives a shocking letter, a threat saying someone close is plotting against him. The warning shakes him deeply. Later, Sachin surprises everyone with a car, bringing joy to the family. While everyone celebrates, Renuka criticizes the purchase, but Savitri Devi blesses Sayali warmly, calling her the family's Lakshmi. Seeing this as the perfect chance to bring Paresh and Renuka closer, Sachin and Sayali come up with a thoughtful plan, a temple visit that might help ease the tension between them. Savitri Devi loves the idea and encourages both Paresh and Renuka to go along. Though Paresh resists at first, Sachin gently but firmly insists he sit beside Renuka in the back seat. Awkward silence fills the car until Sachin begins to drive recklessly, purposely making turns that cause them to bump into each other. Despite Paresh's protests, Sachin continues, secretly hoping to break the wall between them. When a sudden jolt makes Renuka hit her forehead, Paresh immediately reaches out in concern, checking if she's hurt. His natural worry softens the air between them. He even offers his hand to steady her, and Renuka holds it tightly, a moment that quietly rekindles their long-buried affection. Getting home, Savitri Devi notices the difference right away. The distance between Paresh and Renuka seems to fade. They talk again, shyly and gently. When Sachin points out that Renuka's bindi has accidentally landed on Paresh's neck, everyone bursts into laughter. Embarrassed but smiling, the couple shares a sweet, awkward moment. Savitri Devi playfully asks Paresh to put the bindi back on Renuka's forehead, symbolizing a new beginning. Sachin and Sayali celebrate, happy that their plan worked and that peace has returned to the family. Later that night, Renuka's sleep is disturbed by a call from Tejas. Irritated, she meets him in the dining area, only to see him holding a strange letter. Going through the letter, her confusion grows. The letter feels real, and it worries her. As Tejas tries to explain, she can't help but feel frustrated. Despite being educated, he often lacks sense, and she's tired of cleaning up after him. The next day, Sayali meets her friend Sheetal at the market. During their friendly chat, Sheetal encourages her to join a local fair and set up a flower design stall. Inspired, Sayali sees this as the perfect opportunity to expand her business and bring her dreams closer to reality. At home, Sayali tells Sachin about the fair and how it could help grow her flower business. At first, Sachin tells her not to take part, saying she already has too much on her plate. But after hearing her excitement and determination, he changes his mind and encourages her to go for it. Sayali admits there's a small problem. The registration form is in English, and she doesn't understand it well. Just then, Renuka, who overhears their conversation, mocks Sayali for her lack of English skills. Sachin immediately stands up for Sayali, making Renuka angry enough to storm off. Later, Renuka tells Tejas and Roshni about Sayali's plan to join the flea market. Tejas reacts with jealousy, claiming Sachin and Sayali are trying to copy them. Roshni reminds him that they started their business long ago and shouldn't feel threatened. But Tejas refuses to let it go and begins plotting to stop Sayali from participating. Both Renuka and Roshni warn him not to cause trouble, especially after his past mistakes. Meanwhile, Sachin helps Sayali record a video where she confidently talks about her flower business. Though she feels shy at first, Sachin's encouragement gives her the courage to speak passionately. Her confidence makes him proud, and they share a sweet, supportive moment together. However, when it's time to fill out the flea market form, both Sachin and Sayali struggle with the English instructions and can't complete it. Sachin gets a passenger call for work, but Sayali insists he go, promising to figure it out herself. After he leaves, Renuka shows up again, taunting Sayali for thinking she can handle such things. Despite the hurtful words, Sayali refuses to give up. She works hard and finally completes the form, smiling proudly at her success. That night, Sachin surprises Sayali with a bunch of flowers. When she asks how he managed to buy them, he admits he borrowed money but promises to repay it after the flea market. Touched by his gesture, Sayali grows emotional, realizing how much he believes in her dreams. The next morning, the couple prays together, takes Paresh's blessings, and heads to the flea market full of excitement. But when they arrive, their joy turns to shock. Their business isn't registered, leaving them confused and worried about what will happen next. Sachin and Sayali plead with the event organizer to recheck their form, certain there's been a mistake. But the organizer coldly tells them their form was never received and mocks them. When he rudely pushes Sayali, Sachin loses his temper, grabs his shirt, and confronts him angrily. Sayali desperately begs him to stop. A lady soon arrives and questions Sachin's behavior. He defends himself, explaining they've worked hard for this chance. Sayali also pleads with her to check again. After reviewing their details, the lady calmly reveals that 2 major mistakes in their form caused it to be rejected. Sachin tries to explain they don't understand English and must have filled it wrong, but the lady refuses to bend the rules. She tells them they can try again next time and leaves. The organizers continue to insult them, and Sayali breaks down in tears as Sachin gently takes her away. Meanwhile, at home, Renuka notices Tejas looking upset and questions him. Roshni explains that Tejas wanted to join the flea market just like Sachin and Sayali. She advises him to stay practical and focus on improving their own business instead of competing. After Roshni leaves, Renuka agrees with her advice and tells Tejas he can participate next year. Still curious, she decides to visit the exhibition herself. Back outside, Sayali cries in guilt, blaming herself for everything, especially for making Sachin borrow 50,000 Indian rupees for the event. Sachin comforts her, saying he's proud of her efforts and believes in her dreams. Then, with determination, he gets a new idea. If they can't sell inside the venue, they'll sell their flowers outside. Soon, Renuka and Tejas arrive at the flea market and are stunned to see Sachin and Sayali cheerfully selling flowers outside the gate. Renuka grows suspicious, but Tejas assumes it's part of the event setup. When Sachin spots them, he teasingly mocks them, while Sayali thanks them for coming to support. In playful revenge, Sachin even urges them to try selling flowers too. Embarrassed, they both walk away angrily. Moments later, the same organizer and lady arrive and angrily order Sachin and Sayali to pack up their stall immediately, threatening to call the police if they refuse. Shocked and hurt, the couple tries to explain, but no one listens. Renuka and Tejas watch from afar, secretly pleased to see them humiliated, and leave smiling. That night, Sachin and Sayali return home heartbroken. Renuka and Tejas waste no time mocking them for failing at the flea market. Sachin snaps, warning them to stop insulting Sayali's dreams. Soon, Riya and Roshni join and learn what happened. Riya apologizes for not being around to help. But Renuka and Tejas continue their taunts until Sachin reminds Tejas of his own business mistakes. Tejas gets furious, and Renuka coldly tells Sayali not to dream too big. Sayali quietly walks away instead of arguing. Outside, Sachin follows her and gently asks why she let Renuka's words affect her. Sayali replies with honesty that Renuka isn't wrong. Their biggest obstacle isn't others, but their own lack of knowledge, especially English. She says hard work isn't enough. They must learn and grow if they truly want success. She also reminds Sachin not to rely on others, but to face challenges with strength. Sachin promises to always support her dreams, but Sayali insists he must also work on his own weaknesses. Sachin confesses his deepest fear, that one day he might lose her and be left alone again. Feeling insecure, he worries that he might fall behind since Sayali is learning and progressing faster. But Sayali lovingly reassures him, saying she'll never leave his side. If I am the bird flying in the sky, you are my wings. She promises that together, they'll overcome their weaknesses and fulfill their dreams. When she asks if he'll stay with her through everything, Sachin holds her close and vows to be by her side till his last breath. The emotional moment ends with Sayali hugging him tightly. Determined to improve themselves, Sachin asks Riya to help him learn English, while Sayali turns to YouTube, practicing simple phrases and new words. Excited, she shows off her progress to Sachin, speaking a few English sentences she's just learned. Her quick grasp amazes him, and he proudly encourages her to keep learning more. Meanwhile, Tejas battles with uneasiness. Remembering the letter he once received, he becomes paranoid that people around him are plotting against him and his business. Seeking answers, he visits an astrologer, hoping for a way out of his growing fears. The astrologer advises him to wear certain clothes to ward off negativity and bad luck. Later, Tejas returns home wearing an odd outfit, following the astrologer's advice. His appearance shocks everyone, especially Renuka and Sachin. When they question him about it, Tejas refuses to explain, acting secretive and defensive. He warns them not to interfere in his personal life, leaving the entire family puzzled and uneasy. That's a wrap, fams. See you in the next. Much love.